Hello, Orville Nation. Welcome everybody to our special lunch stream today with George Peter Gatsis, and the creator of Joe King and so many works. He's our friend, obviously in our community. You guys know him, but we need to talk. We're going to be needing to talk to George many times because of his new content that he's putting out. So welcome, George. How you doing?
Greetings. Thank you so much for having me here.
Always. This is your home. This is your home, my friend.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go.
Excited to be here. Well, I just wanted to ask everybody who's around. It's a 1 foot of snow in my area, so don't feel bad for me. Feel pity.
Hello, Kathia, Storyman Jack, Adega. Who else was in here? Jet Screamer, and a few others that I have not seen. So welcome everybody. Today we got this handsome man with us today that he's finally putting up a photo on his avatar. So George, what's the deal with Joe King 2? And guys, if you don't get it, if you haven't gotten it, it's Joe King as in joking. Is that correct, George?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, so there's a pun there. Hey, Sci-Fi, how you doing? So George, tell us what's up with Joe King 2, and it's a brilliant. This is a brilliant series. I've been reading it. I'm loving it. And tell us what's the plan of action for getting a copy of this?
Okay, let me. Okay, cool. Let me start off with something very simple. I'm going to share screen.
Yep.
And there we go. First of all, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I look in full body, and that, yes, right beside me is Gene Simmons. He is pulling my finger. Just so we know. So you get a sense of height. I am 6'2", and Gene Simmons is much taller than I am. I think 6'4".
Oh wow.
He's bending down.
Wow, that's a cool picture.
Isn't it? This is the only resolution I have. I just remembered because I was taking a lot of photos of Gene that day with other people. I actually reduced the resolution on the camera down to the standard. I think it was like 640 by 480 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I can take hundreds of pictures with him and other artists that he happened to be in the building at the time.
Great, wow. Now, just because of what you're wearing, I have to ask you, when was this picture?
This was around the year 2000. We're talking 20 years ago.
Oh, okay. And you just happened to know that they were going to win the Super Bowl this week, didn't you?
No, I did not know. That what I'm wearing there, it just happens to be one of the many shirts that's, I think I either worked on, designed, or somebody gave to me, but everything's such a blur at that time in my life, other than just working like a dog slave. I got out of there.
Let me just share it. Why don't you go ahead and tell us? So tell us where you are in your evolution of the Joe King series.
Okay.
And I'm going to go share the stream again.
Well, right now, I'll read what's on the screen for everybody. Joe just ordered a pizza as someone stole the planet Earth and placed it on the other side of the universe, right in the path of a supernova. Joe and his team have 120 minutes to complete the impossible mission before the pizza gets delivered. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular story is 120 pages. Each page represents a minute of time. And the style of the story is the Blues Brothers meets the Wrath of Khan. It's going to be fast paced. It's going to be exciting. I am going to be roasting Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Orville, everybody, even the corporate media. I'm going to be roasting everybody in this book. There's going to be so many gags packed. You're not going to go flip. You won't go past 2 pages before you'll start to laugh, and you'll have to take a breath. There are some people who have read Joe King 1, and they say they were very surprised about the humor, and at some points they were actually laughing so much that they had to actually stop because they needed to take a breath. They needed to compose themselves.
It's funny, yeah. Let me just say let me just say, I didn't mean to interrupt you, George. Let me just say, guys, it's funny. George is very creative. It's very unique. If you like this combination of serious sci-fi with just the right mix of humor into it, like the Orville, I mean, George is right up your alley. George's stuff.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. I've included a shtick of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type experience in it as well. So when you read the book through the panels, you can also read the book between the panels and get a deeper meaning of what's going on. And just like the first book when it was offered, this book is 120 pages, but this time around, it's going to have different rewards. There's going to be oversized trading cards, 8.5 by 11, but there will also be the standard trading cards, and you will have a chance to get yourself an actual figurine model of the ship, a physical model of the ship. It's going to be available to you. And all you have to do is just sign up. Go to my Twitter accounts. Just find me on Twitter. Also, the links are available.
I will post.
Yes, thank you so much. And sign up early, so that way when the campaign goes live, you'll be able to get the discounts. I am gonna have discounts this time around. I'm gonna have a discount for book 2 for people who sign up early. I'm also gonna have combo discounts for book 1 and 2. I'm also gonna have a super combo discount, book 1, 2, and the ship included in the discount, and that's only for the people who sign up early. During the campaign, the price are going to be definitely going to be higher, and but there's also rewards in there that will make it really awesome. Original art as well, and maybe a few more hidden rewards that I won't even tell you until you actually get the physical package in your hands. And that's
thanks, Diego. Thanks for Diego for doing that. And there's the Indiegogo link, guys, and as well as George's Twitter. Katia says ask George about the 00 fluffy cards.
Yes, 00 Fluffy. He is in the story. He premiered in the first book, and he is one of the key characters in the story. I've done some art and I posted them. 00 Fluffy as James Bond, as Snake Plissken, as Neo, and also as Han Solo. Of course, all in the bunny forms. So I would satire these properties through the rabbit, the power of the rabbit.
Awesome. 00 Fluffy's in it. Awesome. I love that character.
It's going to be absolutely exciting. This time around, I'm also I've been contemplating it, but I've been taking it a little more seriously in terms of what I'm about to tell you. I am going to do a diagram of the ship, cutaway, like a Star Wars cutaways of the Adat Walker or the Enterprise and stuff like that. I'm going to do a cutaway of the ship itself. so you when you're actually looking at the book, you'll be able to reference the cutaway and say, oh yeah, okay, they're right here or they're right there. Oh, the action's taking place right over there.
So
And,
let
and,
me
and you
let
keep
me
track
see if
of
I
it.
understand that correctly. You're going to do cutaways of like certain, like for example, like an AT-AT. You said.
Well, you've seen the cutaways of the Enterprise where you have the ship in a particular angle, and then
Mhm.
you actually are able to see through the hull, and you see the different decks and rooms.
I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm gonna do that too, but it's not. But since the ship itself, the Lady Star, is only the size of 3 Winnebagos, it's not going to be as a lot of work.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be it's going to be terrific. It's going to be fun. It's definitely for the kid at heart to actually have the cutaway separate as you're reading the book, and then you can actually reference where you are in the story to where you where particular things are happening on the ship. Even though it's a small ship, there's going to be a lot of action in the ship, outside the ship, and everywhere they're going. It's going to be really fun.
Wow, wow. KP is loving this, by the way.
Thank you so much. It's uh, and the reception as I'm posting stuff on Twitter. I'm looking at the analytics, and I've never gotten analytics this huge before. And as I'm watching these analytics, they're cracking up. They're continuing to grow and grow and grow. People are paying attention. And then I got a notice from Indiegogo. People are signing up for your pre-launch. I go like, woohoo! But I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not even going to go look to see how many signed up so far.
By the way, I like these little videos that you did for promotional videos.
Yes, yes.
You're not hearing the sound on the video, right, George?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Great, great. Yeah, I'm loving these. And guys, if you get a chance, when you see George's new stuff online, what a great animation this was. I'm gonna put the other one up so we can see the total animation of this scene. If you guys see George's stuff online, hey Taylor Beats, please share it. Hey MacGyver, please share it, guys, because this is an amazing project. And actually, once you get into it, you'll be asking yourself why doesn't George have like 150,000 followers on his Twitter? That's what you're going to be asking yourself.
I'm a humble guy, meat and potatoes. Yeah, I always, when I go to Harvey's or McDonald's, I say, "Can I have a cheeseburger, please?" And then the nice lady on the other side, or gentleman, would say, "Okay, what would you like on it?" That's it. Cheese, please. And they would go, "Okay, yeah, but that's what comes with it." I go, "Yeah, thank you. That'd be great. Awesome. Thank you."
Let me put up the other video, the promotional video.
This time around, if we get enough backers, I will I'll have a lot more oversized cards. I'm hoping to match the same number of oversized cards to the trading cards, which is 18. But if the number of backers actually exceed my expectations for the second round, I think I might do hardcover on both books. One can only hope. And making the hard choices.
Wow. That would be amazing. Let me see. I'm trying to add this second thing. And so, George, you've been making the rounds on the shows, right? I've been seeing you on.
Yes, I've done 2 shows so far. One, a friend of the channel here at Orville, Stephen, from the
Oh, that was a
band.
great interview. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I forgot who it was before that. Oh,
Yeah, I saw you somewhere. I don't remember where.
oh, by the way, you can hit pause and you can read the notes there.
Oh, okay. 1 second. 1 second. George Peter Gatsis presents a George Peter Gatsis culinary production in association with George Peter Gatsis, striving to find the best cheeseburger. Well, that's a good goal. Starring Joe King, Aquaman not appearing, Bambi not appearing, the Invisible Man, he is appearing. On micro, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. See, this is kind of like the really smart intellectual humor that George does. I love it. Godzilla in a pitched battle against Bambi and booked solid till 2150. Amber the intern. Edit it out. Okay. Created and animated by George Gatsis. So, George, let me stop once. Well, let's watch it first.
Yeah. No, you can pause it.
Well, I'll let everybody watch it through one time, and then we'll go back.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. So Joe ordered a pizza. Someone stole the planet Earth and placed it on the other side of the universe, right in the path of a supernova. Now Joe and his team have 120 minutes to accomplish an impossible mission before the pizza gets delivered. Okay, wow. So George, I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What is so? What is Joe? Is he an alien? Is he? Why is he blue? Is he Derulio's cousin from the Orville? What's up? Who is Joe?
Oh, great question. I get asked that question once in a while. They ask, in book one, Joe happens to lift a car over his head on the cover and smash it against the rocks. I go, yeah, it's because I'm paying homage to Action Comics #1, Superman. I said, yeah, but how strong is he? I said, I don't know. They go, but he lift a car over his head. I go, maybe that car's made out of paper mache. Maybe the gravity on the asteroid is so weak that he can't lift the car. And I go like, okay, so what is Joe then? And then I would be coy. I'd say, well, he's Joe. But in the second book, I can't divulge who or what Joe is. But in the second book, you get a really good idea when you see Joe in action in a certain section of the book. The surprise will come hard and it'll come fast, and it'll actually, once you're in the book and the setup builds up to the setup, you're gonna sit back and go like, "Oops, I didn't see that coming." I've been saving this particular part, this question that you just asked me. I've been saving it. I haven't told anybody. I've been saving it since 1998 when I actually premiered Joe in issue 8, and it's like running a marathon. I'm about to cross the finish line, and people are gonna finally know what has been going on in my head all this time as I've been doing this long form narrative over.
Yeah, teasing his fans, Adega. Yeah.
over many years. So 30 years now. Good gosh. September 1990 was the first issue published. Just exciting. I'll tell you, the first part of the story, or the first part of the books, was just a kid who woke up late at night, had to go be rushed to the airport because the whole family was going to the airport because someone's coming in from out of town, and they couldn't. And the kid goes to school, and terrorists chase him. School bullies chase him. Um, Teachers chase him. Police chase him. It's just one huge chase, and
Wow.
in that story, that was the very first story I actually wrote when I was in high school, and it helped me pass my English, grade 10 English. It it was
Really?
do or die. It was fun times. My English teacher said, George, you're a slacker. You got to pick yourself up. You're going to fail the year. You got to do something spectacular. So I started writing all these scripts, and the teacher said,
Really?
half the stuff I don't understand what's going on. My husband read it as well. We read it to our children. It reads like it's going to be a great movie. Good luck. 98 out of 100, 2% for spelling mistakes. Curses. And I did it all on a Smith Corona typewriter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the typewriters.
Oh,
There was something very, there's still something very nice about using a typewriter, except
yeah.
making a mistake. But
Yeah.
well,
Liquid paper, backtrack, all that stuff. But gosh darn it, I had to do it in the basement because if my parents were sleeping, my brother was sleeping on the second floor, so I was in the basement every time. And it was an electric typewriter too, by the way, right? It was it was the first electric typewriter that I got, and every time I hit the key, it's not like I can hit the key gently and it won't make a noise. No, I hit the key, it goes toot, 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 toot. It's like at a certain point, my mom comes down. Can you stop with that typing? For crying out loud, we're trying to sleep 2 floors up. And I said, Mom,
yeah,
I got to get this done, or else I'm going to fail my assignment. She goes, okay, fine, if that's the way it is. Well,
Kathia says, it looks like Super Grover grown up from Sesame Street. Grover from Sesame Street.
that's funny that you mention it.
A little bit.
After I had created the character is actually modeled after the inspiration of Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner cartoons.
Oh,
Excuse me. I love those cartoons so much because they had no dialogue. It was just pure action. Every shot, every scene, every composition was just a joy to behold. You didn't need to understand English, French, whatever, and and I saw the simplicity of the characters. The coyote was the coyote, the roadrunner was the roadrunner, and if one or the other character had any clothing at all on them, it would be minimalistic. It would be a cape, or it would be a tool belt, or it would be a hat, but that's it. And that's what I took away from that experience. And I said, okay, if I'm going to do a character with those kind of specifications, he's gonna be furry. I'm gonna go with blue and red, very simple, and that's it.
I like this. Yeah, I like the simplicity of it.
It's the simplicity that really has challenged me in everything that I've been doing for a very long time. You can draw a great piece of art with so much line work in there that it'll take you days to examine all the line art, all the lines that make up the illustration, all that stuff. But you can also draw a similar composition with minimal lines, and what is it that you get out of these two illustrations? You'll get the same message. Sorry. There you go. You'll get the same message. If the composition is a character running off the cliff, in both illustrations, you're going to get the same message conveyed, whether it's an illustration with simple lines or it's an illustration with a lot of detail. You're still getting the same message. So I concentrated on doing simple lines and trying to convey motion, emotion, and motion, and what is the actual scene all about. And that's why you get Joe the way he is. That's why the artwork that you see is very simplistic in its composition and also the characterization.
Wow. So do you wanna explain to us kind of what this image is about? And Adega says, "Never trust a bunny." Yeah, our friend Adega, unfortunately, he's talking about his post traumatic experiences at the Playboy Mansion. So, I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
You bastard.
Just kidding, Adega. So tell us, what are we seeing here? This is a beautiful image. What are we seeing here, and where's this big green hand coming from? And
the big green hand is coming from a model that I actually developed and rigged 10 years ago, or more, 12 years ago. 12 years ago. I was working at one of the many agencies. Well, not really an agency, a visual effects company. And what I was doing at that time was, doing some work in the off hours, personal time. I would be actually modeling and rigging my characters, multiple characters. And recently, when I was planning for book 2, I said, I need to, get, this type of character. And go, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I already have the character. And then I went through looking through my discs to find it, and I did. I found it, mislabeled, of course, but I found it. There, the character is very scary looking. When you actually see the character full body, you're gonna go, oh, that's what the hand's attached to. In this particular scene, the character is reaching out not to grab Joe or the ship, but reaching out to actually consume the planet that's there.
Wow. Now, who is on board that ship?
On board the ship is Joe, female X, Tara Katz, Amber, the intern, Pork Chop Ed, the master of disguise of 1, and of course the captain, the big head captain.
Okay.
And they're the core team in the story, but as the story progresses, their ship gets a little more crowded. It becomes more crowded as the time progresses. They pick up stragglers here, survivors over there, and that's what's going to make the story even more humorous in terms of situation comedy, because you have a spaceship that's the size of 3 Winnebagos, and you're picking up more and more people, and you have less and less room until it becomes elbow room only, and they still have to save the day.
Oh wow!
Now, just imagine the Blues Brothers. Everyone who's seen the Blues Brothers movie, imagine the Blues Brothers doing their race across the country to get to the county courthouse so they can save the church. Imagine them in a car, not just by themselves, but by the car stuffed with a lot of people in the car. That's the best I can describe the scenario. Almost like clowns in the car. It's packed clowns in the car. And I put these visuals actually together quite quickly. I was surprised because the machines I was working on 12 years ago, they were pretty slow, of course, compared to today. But I go like, wait a minute, we're gonna go away and have some dinner. Oh, it's done. Oh, okay. I'll set the next scene to render. Oh, I'm gonna go away. Maybe wash the dish. Oh, it's done again. Oh,
I'm loving the effects on the video, George. It's beautiful.
lighting effects, glow effects, blur effects as well, motion blur.
Yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful ship, and obviously it's very easy on the eyes.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Wow.
this particular video, the composition of the video, I was inspired by the 80s G.I. Joe cartoons. Where,
Really?
yeah,
How so?
Marvel was doing G.I. Joe in the 80s, and they had a cartoon. They also had toys, and they start off the whole commercial. I think it was like 15 seconds. It was wonderful. They start off with just a little opening cartoon, and then they cut to the Marvel comics, and then they cut to the toys, and go like, "Wow, that's awesome!" And of course, I was watching the G.I. Joe cartoons, and of course, I bought the the toys, and I bought the comic books, and it was all because of the commercial. In 15 seconds, it showed you a cartoon, which segued to the comic books, which segued to the toys. It was spectacular, and that's the feeling I wanted to do. I wanted to do the same thing: do a cartoon, segue right to the comic book. I was thinking of adding the figurine too, but I thought it would be too much.
Yeah. Well, the figurines will be available down the road, right?
They'll be available during the campaign.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Can you add wait 1 second. Let me blow this up a little bit. The is that? Oh, wait a second. That's not doing it.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, you can see that better now.
Yeah, you can see where the control bar is much smaller. Oh, you're on the
Oh, okay.
Mac, right?
Yeah.
You can move that bar over.
Yep. I just did. Yeah. Can you walk us through those 6 characters right there?
Okay, the first one on the left is Amber, the intern.
Mm-hmm.
She, in the first story, she usually takes over the captain's job because the captain is nowhere to be found when decisions have to be made. Joe, of course. The new captain for this story is, well, just the captain. I'm not going. In terms of a name, I haven't given him a name. I'm just going to keep him as the captain. And there's a whole bunch of gags that are associated with his size and his hat, and just the fact that he's called the captain. The next character is female X. She is basically a reverse of Data, a robot to becoming human, a human actually trying to understand what it is to be a human, and
I
also
remember you telling me
she's
this. Yeah.
becoming a robot.
Cool.
Then it's Pork Chop Ed. He is the master of disguise, of one disguise, only one disguise. So it sounds funny. Yes, it is. When you're, but there is a whole series of gags just on this character alone, and the last one is Terracat. She is the unknown factor in the story. They pick her up during their mission, and her relationship to Joe and everybody else is unusual. She has a relationship with all these characters in different times, in different places, but specifically she has a relationship with female X, but neither are aware of who each other is. That's all the hinting I'm going to put. And I will be bringing back the complement of the original crew from the book one as the story progresses.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be jam packed, full of characters, gags, situations, stories, hidden stories. I even figured out a brand new nonlinear character, and I've come up with 6 different um, puzzles. Uh, what we call new narratives, if you will, in this story. So you'll have visual cues, you have story cues, you'll have dialogue cues, um, and of course you have the standard reading experience, and also the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type experience. But there's one last visual cue that I'm going to include in the story that's if I execute it well, which will have a lot to do with the cutaway that I am going to be drawing up. It's going to be an experience. It's going to be a deep experience. This book will be that much more engaging than the first book,
Hmm.
and that's the interesting thing. I One of the things that really engaged me in the past was puzzle books. I would go through a book of 500 puzzles, and of course the easy ones first, and as you progress through the book, it gets harder and harder and harder. And then sometimes I would skip the puzzle because I wasn't in the right frame of mind for that particular question, and continue through the book. And then um, later I will come back and skim through the book and say, okay, I missed this puzzle. I'll tackle this puzzle and continue that way. And it was fun. It was something that's put an impression on me. And then when I'm going to McDonald's or Harvey's or Burger King with my parents, they would have a little placemat, paper placemat with puzzles on it. But their puzzles had an actual story attached to them, and the story was regarding their food.
Hmm.
That actually piqued my interest. I'm going like, wow, this is really exciting. I'm actually putting a puzzle together. I'm solving the puzzle, but I'm also going to be solving a narrative as I'm putting all these different pieces together. And then eventually, lo and behold, I graduate college, and I happen to be handed the Burger King account where I actually organized it into a proper style guide, the local store marketing binder, and it was a very it was a deep moment to actually work on the actual Burger King account where just a few years before that I was actually eating at Burger King doing the puzzles.
Yo, so George, are you going to be doing a physical like presentation at any place or anything that
I haven't even thought about doing a physical,
it's
going
too
to
early
a
for that?
convention or anything like that. It hasn't. The last convention I did was back in 2012. It was here in Toronto, Fan
Mhm.
Expo. I
Oh,
happened to get meet Joe Kubert, one of the legends and artist and writer in the comic books world. I shook his hand and told him, "Thank you so much. One of your books that I picked off the variety store that my parents picked off for the variety store many years ago. 1 million BC was the and what got me interested in comic books, and since it was a life changing moment, and I shook his hand, and I was just a babbling, crying adult shaking the hand of the very person who actually forged his entire life. If I didn't go to the particular variety store and I didn't look up and saw dinosaurs and I asked my mom to get that book because it had dinosaurs, um, I would never have known what a comic book was.
yeah, wow. Hey, listen, guys, just wanted to point out that Steph is in the room and she's putting up the link for Captain Robert. So I know some of you guys have chipped in. So I'm sure they're very grateful. But I just wanted to mention that real quick. So George, yeah, I mean, well, I think you're getting a certain kind of momentum that at some point you're gonna have to be presenting this again at face to face somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get dust off my suit, tighten my belt, comb my hair, and shave. I look like a mess right now. I'm just a sit-at-home guy drawing behind the computer and the drawing board and doing stuff like that and writing. It's been a while since I've actually sat back and worked in the corporate world. Actually, it's been 5 years, 6 years now.
Uh-huh.
It's since I've stepped away from the corporate world for a couple of reasons. One is the work has been slowing down, and the other thing is attitudes and
it was time to do your own thing, right?
It just felt right. It just said, okay, you know what? I've been just doing this slowly for the last 25 years. I might as well just focus on it now. And Joe King, the world's greatest versus the world's greatest average hero, is the very first book I've actually ventured to do a 120-page book. Instead of doing a 22 or 32-page book like a standard comic, I wanted to make it thick. I wanted to make it meaningful, so that way when you get it in your hands, you don't have to worry about getting the next issue and all that stuff. It's there. It's all complete. You can get to it whenever you want. You don't have to worry about missing the next issue next month or 2 months later.
Wow. I was going to ask you something and it just slipped my mind. Go ahead.
Okay, while you're thinking about that, if you go to my YouTube page,
yep,
I uploaded a few more animations there. I think you're gonna.
Should I go there now?
Yeah. Go to my YouTube page, please.
Okay, one sec.
I uploaded them all, or was it up until a couple of hours ago? The last one. It's exciting. I found animation. I clipped animation pieces from long form animation reels.
Yeah.
And I put them together. And
was the other? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to ask you: was the other interview you did Bounding into Comics, or was it somebody else?
Oh, I think was it Bounding into Comics
with John and Drew.
Oh my gosh, I remember Steven Wednesday.
Yeah.
But I forgot who was before that. Oh no.
Who was it?
Bob.
Who? Oh, Comic Book Bob. That's right. That's right. Bob. I knew it was somebody like that. Okay. Yeah.
That was a gag.
Because I was there and I remember. Yeah, it was somebody comic book related. Yeah. Let's see.
There you go. Mr. Outlaw has the link to the YouTube channel in the chat.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna post it actually on the screen. One sec.
And there am I, 20-year-old ago, Georgie.
Let's see.
A little gray in the hair. Well, I was thinking of doing maybe some Photoshop work on that. I go like, well, what am I doing? I could just take a photograph of myself.
Guys, another day when George wants to talk about how much of a Renaissance man he is, how much of a 21st century Leonardo da Vinci he is, we'll talk about other things he does if he wants to.
And the crazy thing is, yeah. Oh, here we go. It's loading. Okay, before we move on, scroll down slightly. Oh, I know. See where the second option. Click on the videos. Right now it's the home. Click on the video tab. Scroll up a little.
On the video. Oh, here.
Yeah,
Okay.
click on video. Yeah. All right, now scroll down slowly. Let's see. Keep going slowly.
I love the Canadian superhero, by the way.
Ah, yes. That's a client. Okay, there. Okay, this is revenge. Have a look at that. Have a look at that video. That video will actually give you insight.
What's this? Which one?
This is revenge. Right there.
Am I not seeing it?
You know, it's a second row from the right.
I don't see this is. Oh, this is right. Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at the titles below. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Should I play it?
Full screen. Yeah, play it full screen.
So you want to walk us through this video?
Yeah. It hasn't. It's blurry
It's
right
beautiful.
now.
Wow.
On your screen.
How George? How do you do graphics like these for clients?
Yeah, I do. But right now on the screen,
Yep.
it's blurry.
It is.
It doesn't show.
It's blurry.
Yeah. Hit rewind. Hit rewind it and just leave it at that. Yeah, hit play. Okay, great. So,
Now it's good.
Yeah, that's fine. So
Okay.
what you're looking at is a few trailers, okay, and some other visuals. Why I'm asking you to look at this is because this particular trailer right here, and the next one, speaks directly to the new Joe King book.
Oh wow. Adega says George is doing something very cool for him. Wow.
Yes, awesome. I am. I'm working on his character.
Oh wow. I can't wait to see that, Adega and George. Samples of thoughts collected in 6 minutes. What are we looking at, George?
This is one of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trailer for one of the stories. The first story, this is Revenge. This one and this one here that's right now, the third trailer, are all part of one of the stories. But the interesting thing is the narratives that you see here are actually appearing in Joe King book 2 that I'm going to be putting together.
Wow.
These were rough storyboard animations.
Yeah. Hey, Chief Cook.
To get
Welcome.
the idea down.
Wow. Very cool. The Black Diamond Effect.
And now what you're going to be looking at is individual scene shots and stuff like that of characters, scenes, and locations.
I like that. Wow, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I remember seeing something like this that we did. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool.
And this is a particular railroad tracks here in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, there's the character. That's the character that's grabbing the sun.
Oh, that's the one. Oh wait, can I?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I forgot the character was in this. So much for the surprise.
Do you want me not to replay it?
No. Go back,
Yeah.
and pause it when when the character comes up, so everyone can see it. There you go. There's the hand. That's the hand right there.
Cool.
There's the muscle structure to the hands, the wires. This is all the rigging, and then the little window in the back there
Yeah.
shows you the different control handles for the character, and you see the actual. It's not final render, but you see what the character looks like in the right color values.
Oops, sorry, my bad.
So
what are we, and how do we? So why do we see this character like on such a big scale in the trailer?
because the character is at in that scale.
Oh,
Lack of a better description, they basically excuse me, they basically came across a farmer plucking a radish out of the garden on a cosmic scale.
This big cosmic sexy Godzilla.
Something like that,
Okay.
Or plucking an apple from a tree on a cosmic scale.
Oh, I like that. I like the plucking the apple thing. Yeah.
Oh, this is downtown Toronto.
Yeah, that is downtown Toronto. What is that? That's like is that Yonge Street, right?
Yeah, Yonge Street, Yonge and Dundas.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's a badass version of an AT-AT. Is that what you were talking about before?
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's I needed a fire truck.
Can I ask you what program you're using, George, for this?
This is Maya. It's called Maya.
Maya.
Yeah. I needed a fire truck, so I modeled a fire truck instead of. I got the photography of the front, sides, and all that stuff, and just put it onto a shape. It's all about the scale. This robot actually appears in the second story. He becomes very important in the story.
Loki's more sexy than Godzilla. Yeah, Kathia. Philip Gaming says that's cool.
And there you go. The from wireframe all the way to render, and also sketching, modeling. Oh, this shot here.
Yeah.
This shot here got me a job at a visual effects company.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
The whole sequence.
No, just this shot here.
Oh wait, let me replay
that shot there, right here from this shot here, and
that's pretty cool.
And this.
The sand blowing.
I was here at the. I was with my family at the Toronto International Exhibition.
Yep.
And I had the shot that video sample on my phone, and I emailed it to the owner of the company. He looked at it and goes like, "Holy shit! when can you come in?"
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. I like the effect of the sand kind of blowing too.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. Okay, so there's a lot of insight here to what is going to be happening in Joe King 2. A lot of story beats and stuff like that. Now, in the video, go back to the video list, please.
Yep.
Okay, so
what about this one? Joe King to Seek Out? Is that just looks cool.
Yeah, that does look cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's my gag on Star Trek. Yeah, play that.
Can I play it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your gag on Star Trek. Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
The Star Trek opening.
Oh, wow. How recent is this?
Oh,
George?
I did this 4 years ago, I think it was.
Oh, it says
No,
2013.
2012. 2012. I think it was 2012.
Space Wells. Wow, I love it.
Yeah, that was my gag to the Star Trek opening.
Wow. Let my book take away your anger. I like that.
Yeah, everybody says, I got a funny book for you. I was thinking, how do you play that in a different angle,
What else should I play from here?
Let's see. Well, there's the 40-minute cartoon, but scroll. Oh, let's see. Scroll up. There's um the first row, second video.
This one?
Yeah.
Choking to Explore.
This is the simplicity of the characters,
Yeah.
and it's all in the action. No dialogue. You try to convey the emotion, the intent.
I'm liking I'm liking. You guys aren't hearing it, but I'm liking the music too. Wow, George. This is. By the way, I've seen a lot more than any of you guys have seen of George's stuff, and it's mind blowing. All this, the to the extent that what he has already created is just sitting there, waiting to be discovered. Oops.
And it goes back to the sales pitch, but hit back. Okay.
What is this? What is this Comicsgate Fandom Menace?
That's just a video of taking multiple videos that people took, and I just timed them together.
Oh, okay.
I synced them up together so you get different perspectives showing at the same time. Okay, here's something. Go up to the top, please, and click on the very first video. Okay, now if you look in the description,
Yeah.
it will show you a link to the bit. Ooh, yeah, we've seen the shot. It's the actually no. Watch this.
Okay.
This is the full shot of the dinosaurs.
Wow.
Okay, now I have something really cool for everybody to see, but it's on the BitChute channel, where it collects all the YouTube videos. Because one day, if YouTube just goes crazy and decides to wipe away your account, you can find everything on BitChute. So if you click on the first video,
yeah,
in the description in the video,
BitChute link.
Excuse me. In the description, it will. Was it view more?
There's nothing in the.
Show more.
No, there's nothing there.
Oh, there's nothing there, really? Oh, that's
is it on
weird.
another one?
Yeah, give me a second.
What about here?
Let me just go to the BitChute and post it in the private channel.
Okay. Philip says, in high school, I started to make a Star Trek parody comic, but never finished it. Oh, wow.
You should go back to it. Even if you're doing stick figures, just do it. Okay, PJ, I just put it in the private chat.
Okay. So let's go to that. Alrighty.
Okay, now keep scrolling down.
Mm-hmm.
Way down. Oh, don't stop. Keep
Way down. Okay.
You can speed up. Yeah, you can speed it up. Oh, wait. Go back up slightly. Is that what's the time stamp on that video?
An hour, 13 minutes.
That's
10
the
seconds.
one.
Okay.
That's the
Click
one.
on it.
Just click on it. Yeah.
Cool. How to draw a comic book cover from start to finish in an hour and 13. Oh wow.
So if yeah, just hit play and we can skip through it. Well, if anyone's curious about how to draw in the vector format, this video will give you the 101 lesson.
Wow. Yeah, it's loading.
So the interesting thing about this video is that
I'm gonna put that link in the chat.
I go from concept all the way to final art, and so that way you can actually see what's going on.
Fatal J says he needs some tips on writing.
Work on my script now. Oh, okay, sure. All right, so let's see. First and foremost, regarding the wait, can everybody hear me? Okay.
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very simple. First and foremost, you have to do just a quick, rough idea, a quick outline of your entire story. You don't have to have any details in it. Just where your story begins, where it's heading, and where it ends. Very first thing, and very important. Secondly, there are writers who actually write in normal feature film script, and there are writers who write in comic book format script. My suggestion is you just write in the feature film script. That way, you can adapt your work from a comic book to a feature film or to a TV show much easier. That's the precursor. That's the setup. It's very important. That's just the setup. How you're going to get yourself in shape. Secondly, after you get your rough treatment, go in and start adding a little more detail into your treatment. Do this. Go back through your treatment, add a little more detail. Go back through your treatment again, add a little more detail, until you've got like 3 or 4 pages in your treatment, and you have enough detail there to answer all your questions in terms of your story, and then you can sit back and write your script. By the way, I'm just paraphrasing everything, giving you a quick outline of the process. So once you've done your first draft on your script, don't worry about the spelling mistakes. Don't worry about the grammar mistakes. Don't worry about characterization. Okay, it's just to get your information down on paper. Yes, go ahead, PJ.
No. You're absolutely right. You just gotta work on the story. Forget about details like grammar. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get it down on paper. That's the hardest part of the script process, of the story process. is getting it down on paper. After that, once it's down on paper, you're able to actually work on it a little at a time. Don't work on it in terms of, if you think of your script as a problem, don't look at the problem as a big problem. Look at it as a small problem. Tackle every problem in its smaller problems. So you want to have a great script. You need it to read well. Well, okay, great. You can get there. Just tackle it a little at a time. So once you've got your script, your first draft in your script, then you go back over the draft and you add or subtract story elements. Now, here's where it becomes very important. As you're progressing, you're doing draft 1 to draft 2. You don't worry about the spelling mistakes. Don't worry about the grammar mistakes. Don't worry about that stuff. Just focus on the story. That's most important. Just focus on the story. Don't focus on the writing. Now, when you've done second draft or third draft, then when you go through your story again, you ask yourself this important question. Every line of dialogue, every description of action, is it necessary in the story? Can the story survive? Can the audience appreciate the story if this particular line of dialogue wasn't in there? Can the audience appreciate the story if this particular action sequence wasn't in there? And if your answer is yes, meaning that you don't, your story, the context of your story will stay okay. No one will miss the dialogue. Then you got to remove it. You gotta pull a little surgery on yourself, a little scalpel in your story. It's very important. Only have the elements in the story that are necessary to move the story forward. But if you start to get long-winded and talk about stuff that actually pulls you away from the action, pulls you away from the story narrative, then you will actually pull your audience away. You'll pull the reader away from your story. And that's what you don't want to do. You want to keep the reader engaged. Now, after you've done all this, here's where it becomes very, very interesting. You want to start to proofread your work. But the problem is the human mind. When you're reading a book, when you're reading a sentence, you subconsciously are closing that sentence. You're projecting forward as you're reading that sentence because you know through experience that Joe just ordered a pizza. Well, what if I actually removed the word just out of it? Your mind will automatically fill in that a missing gap in grammar. So you will not be able to properly appreciate the errors that you have. So the one way to do this, I think you're going to love this idea, is to actually read your work backwards. Go to the last page and work your way to the first page. Why? Because your mind will not be able to fast forward the dialogue, fast forward the text, fast forward the action, fast forward the paragraphs or sentences. You won't be able to fill in the gaps because your mind doesn't work backwards. And that's how you slowly start to self-analyze your work. After you've done that a few times, you'll appreciate all the errors that you may have found, and then just go back in and then ask yourself, this is your final work over the story, and this is where you actually you talk about the dialogue of the character. What's the voice of the character? Does the character speak in a slang? Does the character talk in a very specific mannerism? You do that for all of your characters, and then you have an actual story. At this point, you want to register your story. You want to protect your creative work. So you go to the website, the Writers Guild of America West or Writers Guild of America East, and register your story for about $35, $25 to $35. You submit the PDF, you submit your credit card. They give you a registration number attached to your particular work, and now you have a copyright support for your work by the Writers Guild of America, which is just awesome. It's just short of having your work protected under trademark by the Library of Congress. And that is, in a nutshell, about writing your story. Any questions? PJ. Ladies and gentlemen, our host is having some audio issues. So I am going to pretend I am Zoltar the Mind Reader. And now I am speaking in PJ's voice. Orville. What is the Orville? Where is the Orville? Why isn't the Orville in our sites? Where is season 3? How far is season 3? Let's see, what's the questions here? What's the questions? Kay says negative to positive, demons to angels, everything is due time. Yes. Oh, and gratitude, which is difficult to express to the divine. Yes. Backwards, there it is. Yes. Also add foreshadowing. Yes. Fill up. That's LOL. Okay. Hello, Phil. I can't answer those questions legally. LOL. Let's see where.
Can you hear me, George?
I can hear you now.
Sorry, man. I was having some sound issues. I apologize. Go ahead. What you were saying.
I was just answering questions. Philip said something interesting. He can't answer those questions legally. LOL.
Wow. So this is a real treat. Again, we want to go to the Indiegogo campaign, which Diego's been putting it up. I'm going to put it up again.
Thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
Are you using like a Wi-Fi headset or something?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm getting some weird sound issue. It comes up every once in a while. So I'm putting up the link again for the Indiegogo, and I think this is going to be an amazing. I feel a lot of momentum building with your brand, George. I think you're going to be going places.
Thank you for the foresight. For the last 30 years, I've just been very patient in my works. I haven't pushed forward to make stuff happen. I just would exist, so to speak, in the space that I've created, and be patient. Opportunities have come, opportunities have gone,
Mm-hmm.
but I would never allow them to stress my life. I would always take. There's one door closes, another one opens scenario. And Supreme Heretic here. I see. George, thanks for your insight on the creative process. It definitely helps my headspace in my approach once I start laying out my first creative novel. Supreme Heretic, let me add one other thing to your process, to your creative process. Just write down your passages separately. You don't even try to write a full story. Just write down the things that inspire you, or that particular action scene, or that particular quiet moment. Just write it all down into their separate pieces of paper. Put it in a shoebox or something, and then come back to it later. Once you've had all these different ideas, and then take it out, put it on a table, and then start to puzzle it together. You'll start to figure out that what you have done subconsciously, without a linear narrative, you actually created your narrative. All you have to do is take all your written passages that are separately on individual pieces of paper, and just organize them into the proper puzzle, so to speak. And from there, just start the process of putting it down. Of course, create your treatment, go back over your treatment, and build and build and build until you get a nice polished finish. But here's the thing. The exciting thing is that you'll start to build, and your world that you're writing, you're creating, is going to start to get bigger and bigger. At a certain point, every person that I've talked to, every writer or storyteller, strive to be a storyteller, not a writer. A person who writes novels. A storyteller actually tells you what's in the story. The storyteller engages you in the story more than a writer.
I like that.
And here's the thing. You're going to love this. Back up your work. Multiple copies. Do not take the computer for granted. I cannot express to you how much people I've talked to who had horror stories. I've written this wonderful novel, and a computer crash, and I've sent it to these nerds to recover, and nothing's recovered, and I have to reconstruct the whole thing all over again. And I would say to them, well, now that you have an idea of what you've written, you'll probably go back and in hindsight make it even better. Well, if you don't want to do that, multiple backups on a floppy, on a USB drive, on another hard drive. Just maintain multiple backups. Super, super important. I cannot stress it. In the old days, all you do is just write it on a piece of paper and then do a photocopy. And you have one copy sitting beside your typewriter, and the other copy sitting in a drawer somewhere, in another room, in another house, just in case the house blows up because of an asteroid. Just little things like that. Yes, Philip. Yes, Toy Story 2. Someone made a mistake in the office, and they deleted the data. And there was an accountant who took a full backup of the work on her computer home. And when she came the next day, they said, "What's going on?" And she found out that they lost all the data and all that stuff. She says, "Well, I have a copy of it." And they treated that computer like it was like raising Caesar on a pedestal, or Cleopatra on a pedestal, as you would walk them across the field. That computer was super, super important. They brought it into the office. They made multiple copies, and their schedule and production schedule continued. That was a trying moment. It was a scary moment, and it was saved because an accountant, of all things, an accountant had made a backup on their for whatever reason. Great story.
George, I'm having some trouble with audio, so I think I'm gonna have to leave it here. I'm gonna see if I can fix it.
Well, this is fun. We'll continue something like this at another day. Same.
Yeah, it was great.
same
was
PJ time, same PJ channel.
yeah, exactly. Thanks so much, George. Thanks Adega. Thanks for helping out. Thanks Kathia and Philip and Mac and Drew and everybody who was in here before and thank you everybody in Jet.
Supreme Heretic.
Yeah, thank you, Drew Supreme Heretic. Yep.
Stephanie. Yeah.
Stephanie, yeah. Don't forget, guys, to I know some of you guys have helped out Captain Robert. Keep that in mind. If you can't help, try to retweet some of the tweets that we'll be posting in Twitter. So, George, thanks a lot. I'm going to go before the sound messes up again.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend. Have an awesome day and go play in the snow for a while.
I will venture out there because I have to, hunt down some food at a local McDonald's.
Oh, okay, but don't shovel too hard. It's not good for your health.
Oh,
For anybody's health, actually. Oh, okay, my friend. Take care, George.
You too.
Thank you. Bye, guys.